Coming soon.
Okay, let's talk Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
We saw it. Thoughts, comments, concerns?
I mean, I'll be honest, I was not that impressed. I wasn't really like, it wasn't terrible. I just felt like it was this really odd. It just was, the CGI was terrible. Actually, I don't know if anyone really noticed that, but
no, the baby CGI was you were in fact moaning in the theaters. you were next to me.
I was like, oh my gosh, that is so bad. Surely they'll fix that before the digital release. I mean, I'm looking for some sort of like redeeming thing out of it. And I'm like, it just didn't feel important at all. The most important thing they showed, at least for Marvel, was the Doctor Doom cameo in the after credits scene. Like that was literally that was the only thing that like connected it to the next era of Marvel or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go super long on Fantastic Four. I just thought it's kind of mid. Everyone's freaking out. My friend Michael, it's like 8.7 out of 10. I just go, what? Wait,
what movie did they watch?
What are we watching here?
They must have accidentally stumbled into the F1 movie or something.
My favorite thing that you said to me at watching it was you said, in reference to the big bad in this movie, Galactus. You said if this was an Iron Man movie, it would have been a 15-minute long movie. It would have been Tony Stark getting into his suit.
I think I said it could have been a YouTube short.
Yeah. Yeah. Iron Man, like it's like the Fantastic Four seem like such budget characters. Like they just seem like budget heroes.
Yeah, I'm like, you're telling me that these four are they've saved the world so many times and they're so powerful that they literally run the planet. I'm like, Tony Stark would have taken one look at Galactus and said, all right, Jarvis, and then fired off like 100 missiles out of his body.
Yeah.
And he just would have collapsed and died. This guy, they had to like build all these gravity, I don't want to spoil the movie too much, but it was a whole thing. And so it felt kind of like I was watching like a Thor 2 or a Thor 3 or something.
So 2 of the 4 characters never used their superpowers. Dr. Reed only stretched like once. And when he did, he got clapped. And then Rock Dude, the main way we see his powers being used is he grew a rock beard. Like that was their big like guys, the 7th Fantastic Four, he's gonna grow a rock beard.
It's actually true. Come to think of it. I mean, I always thought of him as like he's similar to Hulk, right? I mean, I think maybe that's what they were worried about. Maybe they were thinking they didn't want him to be too much like Hulk. Maybe they want to do something more with Hulk in the future.
So
he was overall kind of.
We've got, here are all the different casts. I'll blow this up here. All the different casts for Fantastic Four has also been like the most failed Marvel movie.
Historically, yeah.
These are all I don't even know what this top one is. But then this is like when I was in middle school. I didn't even know this one happened either. Michael B. Jordan.
You didn't know that happened? I remember when it happened. It was like the biggest flop that I think Sony, they had the rights to it. And I think it was the biggest flop of all time. The entire movie was just them. They didn't even fight in the movie. They literally just stood around the entire movie and just basically were saying things like, if we're going to be a team, we have to know how to complement each other's strengths. And if we do this, if we become a team, and they were just like, literally just like a movie of yapping. Like, and then at the end, they like teased a fight, and they didn't even have one.
Why didn't we get this? We want John Krasinski.
John Krasinski. They need to start. Marvel. You need to start giving people what they want.
Yeah.
They tell you what they want. They literally say, "Hey, do this," and then they completely ignore it. And they're like, "No, Pedro Pascal."
Also, okay, but speaking of that, have you seen this stuff about Pedro Pascal's like touching people?
Oh yeah. I talked about it on my YouTube channel last week a little bit. It's it literally he has anxiety, and so because of his anxiety, he like has to like touch somebody, but it's only ever attractive women. Like he's never he's never holding hands with one of the bros. Okay, it's kind of it's really kind of weird. And there's some weird clips you can pull up too. Like one where the actress in Fantastic Four was like, I have to go. He's like, no, you can't go. You can't go. And he's like holding on to her. It's really like, what's going on, bro?
Did we all just really mostly like Pedro Pascal? Watch this one. This one's weird. That one was weird.
That's crazy.
That one was so weird. Watch.
That's crazy.
Okay, I think that's something Dafoe. What's his name? Is it William Dafoe? William Dafoe. And that's I'm sorry. I knew it. I just didn't want to get it wrong. He touches that's his wife. That's his wife.
That's crazy. Someone touched my wife like that, we're crashing out. Full crash out. Someone's going to the hospital.
Also, this is a good time for all of our listeners. Just if there is a youth leader, okay? I think you know where I'm going with this.
I do.
If there's a youth leader that says he just super feels called to raise up daughters in Christ.
Oh no.
Fire that man.
Fire him. Get him out. Get him out of there. And check his hard drive too.
Do you ever remember like Free Hugs guy?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. You remember the hug guy in youth group? There'd always be a hug guy. He'd always be like, where's my hug?
Yeah.
And it was weird.
Always, where's my hug? And where's my hug guy? There's jail.
Yeah, okay? He's in jail now.
There's jail.
Let's do a check-in on his life 10 years later.
Pedro, is this what it is? Pedro Pascal is the free hug acoustic guitar youth camp guy.
For sure. He's 100% the guy that brings an acoustic guitar to church camp without being like asked. And he's just like playing it. He's just like sitting at lunch, just strumming his guitar.
Yeah, like no one asked, bro. I'm trying to see if what Google says when I type in free hugs.
Oh, probably a sign.
Yeah, I mean not. Yeah, I think our user. Hey, send me and Taylor some free hugs in the wild. Photos.
Free hugs in the wild is crazy.
We know you guys have been affected by this phenomena. Okay, we know that this has happened to you.
Yeah, put it in chat. It's happened.
We need something better than this. Okay, this is the world. Okay, this is the world's interpretation of free hugs. We need.
Oh no.
We need. Yeah. So what do we do about Pedro, dude?
Pedro? Well, we stopped going to every single movie they cast him in. Because that's the problem right now. I don't even look, everyone in Hollywood's weird. A lot of them are anyway. Okay. Like a lot of them are weird. Maybe they don't even mean wrong. Maybe Pedro. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. They're just, if you know actors and you know people, especially that work in that industry, you know these people, they're just different people. But the thing that I'm most, I wouldn't say most, but I'm just as mad about is why do they keep putting this guy in front of me? They keep casting him in everything. And so it's like they know there's something weird here. He's touching like these women all the time.
Look at that.
Someone touches my pregnant wife like that, she's
married.
She is a married pregnant woman. And yet
look at her face.
Yeah.
Help.
Help me. Yeah. It's like, what's going on? But it's like, it's just weird that they know about all this and then they're just putting the guy in every single movie. Oh. So it's like, apparently the only thing we can do about it is just not go see his films.
Maybe we liked him better when he was the Mandalorian and we couldn't see that it was him. I always forget that he did that. His best role, I feel like that's kind of the role that made him pop off. No, what role made him pop off?
Really, that was the first. That might have been the first thing I ever saw with him in it.
And this is what we liked about Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, he did because he doesn't look like Pedro Pascal. He looks like he actually literally looks like a crusader. To go back to your thing, because look at his helmet.
He's just talking. And this is the problem. And this might even be why I had a hard time enjoying Fantastic Four, because it sucks when you know the actor and the actor is so different than the characters they portray. Because Pedro Pascal's pretty woke. He's pretty out there. He's very like strange, you know, like in terms of an Orthodox view on Christianity in the West, he would not, you know, doesn't line up. And so it's hard for me to watch. Like, you know, Brad Pitt was just recently on an interview for F1 on Dak Shepard's podcast. And they asked him, he said, how close to the guy you are and the character you play? Like how much are you that guy? And Brad Pitt's like, yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of who I am. Keanu Reeves, same way. Matthew McConaughey. These guys are basically playing themselves in roles, and we're here for it.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of times the best roles for an actor are ones where they can basically play themselves. It comes across the best, because unless you're like a Sir Anthony Hopkins or something, where you can like literally completely change like your entire personality for a role, you're not going to help but have aspects of yourself come out in whatever you're doing. And so it's like, you know, it's like, like you said, when you see Keanu play John Wick, like Keanu in real life, I don't know him, but I've seen videos of him in real life, and he is actually pretty quiet. He's kind of a quiet guy. He has kind of a serious sort of aura to him. And so like when he goes to play like John Wick, he can play that up, and it works really well. And so like, yeah, with Pedro, as we'll call him. Yeah. I think Mandalorian was kind of the kickoff role, because Mandalorian was so successful for Disney when it came out, that then Disney was like, hey, put him in everything. And so he's like in Marvel, he's in all this stuff. But I don't think Pedro Pascal's acting was in any way a contributing factor to the success of The Mandalorian. Let's be honest, there's only one scene in season 1 where he takes the helmet off. They could have anybody in there the rest of the time. I mean, they could have anybody in there. As long as they're not, 500 pounds, they're gonna do okay.
Yeah, I mean, so we will now take to Reddit.
Reddit, oh no.
What's up with Pedro Pascal anxiety memes and touching people? Hold on, I'm not going to click these links live. I'm learning. Apparently, like I asked ChatGPT, why is he not being canceled? I mean, so it's the whole thing is anxiety.
He has anxiety. That's what they say.
Yeah, but like, okay, and no offense, this is gonna sound super insensitive. I'm very pro mental health. Like, help, I think you are too.
For sure.
I just feel like we live in an era where like people just get to excuse bad behavior because of your problems. And it's like, everyone's got problems, dude. Stop touching people.
Everybody. Yeah, I think was that a thing back in the 1950s? Go back in the 1950s and see if any guy got away with saying he had anxiety, and so he needed to touch women. See how that would have gone. It would have been a very different story back then if somebody tried that.
But there's been no serious allegations, and his co-stars have been overwhelmingly, I guess, supportive. So, yeah, man, it was hard seeing him in the movie just because I don't know. He's just not who I thought he was, and it's hard for me to get behind it. And I just thought the movie was pretty boring. There wasn't a lot of fighting.
There wasn't a lot of fighting. There also wasn't really like any really redeem. They had a great opportunity to push, family values. Talk about the value of a family. They had a great opportunity to have a massive pro-life message, and both times they fumbled. They wouldn't go all the way. They wouldn't do it. They couldn't bring themselves.
It is. Let's dive into that for a second, because that is pretty. This is an interesting. What is the word in? I was going to use a word improperly. I was going to say this is an interesting anthology, but that's not correct. It's just an interesting analysis on. I kind of think it was hypocritical because, the plot. Spoilers alert. It's like Galactus says, I'll kill Earth unless you give me this baby. And Disney and all these pro-choice actors were like, no, that baby's life, that one baby matters so much.
Right.
That feels conflicting to me from a pro-choice point of view.
It felt a little conflicting. They also, there's a scene like where whatever her name is, the mom, she goes out to talk to the people that are protesting outside of her building. And I also don't understand that too. I don't get this thing right now in culture where it's like the answer to everything is a protest. That doesn't make any sense to me. It just seems like I see that come up in movies where it's like the answer to whatever it is people getting up and protesting. And I'm like, is protesting like, did like what? It's like they just have this thing. They can't get away from that. Like that's the answer to all their problems is people protesting.
I don't know why you bring that up, but because like all the world's problems have been solved recently.
No, exactly. Thank you.
The war in the Middle East, done.
It's over.
Climate change and pollution, Greta Thunberg, done. When people were protesting Netflix around Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle's canceled. It's over.
Yeah, it's done.
It's done.
Yeah, it's over.
I think there's a lot of evidence that protesting is. I don't know where you're coming from, man. It does
the trick. It does the trick, right? So they're protesting outside the Fantastic Four's headquarters because they want her to sacrifice her baby. It's there's a huge pro-life point we could do right here. We could do it. You wouldn't even have to be crazy. Wouldn't have to be you wouldn't have to come out and use like pro-life talking points. You just come out and say, hey, I'm a mother. I'm not sacrificing my kid. I'm not doing that. My family is what I'm responsible for. Very easy thing to do. They can't do it. She has to come out and say that, no, the reason she can't give the baby up is because this is actually about not just my family, but all of us as a family.
We are one global family.
We're all one global family. And I'm like, dude, guys, come on. It would have been so easy, so stinking easy. And then on top of that, too, it's like, I think they had the whole aesthetic of the 1950 thing because they're trying to do the whole 1950s aesthetic. And I'm like, okay.
Which visually, I liked it. Visually, I liked it. I liked
agree.
The world. The positive things is people were saying that this Earth felt a lot more comic booky, subterranean. And I like that. I agree with that. I like the aesthetic. I liked the world. I just wish we would have seen more of it.
Yeah, we didn't hardly see any of it, which was odd. It all was like most of it took place like in one building or in space. There's the scenes in space and the stuff in the building. It just felt like a massive missed opportunity for them, especially when audiences are so strongly showing that they want to see, traditional American values in films. Any movie that caters to that wins. Like every single one. And Marvel had a great opportunity without being heavy-handed. They wouldn't have had to be heavy-handed. They wouldn't have to do anything that would have ticked any of their base off that's progressive. They had a great opportunity and they can't bring themselves to do it. It's progressive movie makers. They can't, it doesn't work. So, just as a movie, take all that aside and just look at it as a film. It was inconsequential. It was not important to the universe at all, other than just to show us the characters, which they already said at the end are going to come back in some Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah.
And that was really the only real point of this movie was just like, hey, look at the Fantastic Four characters. You could have skipped this movie. Wouldn't have mattered at all.
Crazy good reviews.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Guys, we promise we're not trying to be haters. That's actually the whole point of the show is to not be hate. We're trying to,
Yeah, we're not trying to be haters. It's just that I think that the bar is so low for superhero films at the moment that when somebody puts out one like Fantastic Four released in the 2010s, that would have been like it would have been decent. It wouldn't have been seen as like the greatest thing ever, but it would have been decent. And so like now, since we're in this sea of superhero movies that nobody cares about, when you release one that's decent, now it's like, oh my goodness, this is the film. This is the one. Oh, this is awesome. It's a 10 out of 10. And so, I think that's a little bit of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, at least they didn't sacrifice the baby.
They didn't sacrifice the baby. Good on them for that.
Like we do in real life.
Unfortunately. Yeah, it's true.